Innocent or inappropriate? By now, we've all heard about this story where this young teacher, he goes by Q. His social media handles on TikTok and on Instagram are The Illuminator. He's gone viral for reposting a live that he was a part of, a live that he streamed, where he allowed some of the young lady students at the school that he teaches to unbraid his hair before his hair appointment. Okay. He cites that some of these were his students, some of them weren't. He gives a reason for why he allowed this to happen. Consequently, he has been fired. As of today, as of Friday, May 10th, he has been fired. That's what I've been told. Again, there's no winner in this situation, right? Because now we have students that are losing out on who is, I'm assuming, a good teacher, personal, a teacher that, connects with them, whatever the case. And then on the flip side, we now have a young man that has lost his source of income. There's a couple of different issues that I have with this. I personally don't think it's appropriate by any means. Nothing about this is appropriate to me. But I am just one person. My word is not gold. My opinion is not the end all be all. I personally just think it's inappropriate, right? Optics wise, it's just not a good look. While this might have been 1,000% innocent, right? 1,000% platonic. To me, it's not professional. I think we're in a world now. We live in an era where everything has to be on our phones. We constantly feel the need to take pictures and stream and video everything. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm a millennial, right? So while I know how to use all the technology and I have all the social media apps, hell, I have a YouTube. I've had a podcast before, right? I also, because I'm a millennial, I understand how the optics of this is terrible. This is not this is not a good look. So what I'm gonna do is I want to go ahead and I want to play a snippet of the video. His video it's about 5 minutes, so I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but I want to play enough where he explains what's happening. He explains why he did this, and we get a little bit more context. While I'm playing this, go ahead, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and then we're going to talk about this a little more after the video.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing and people were just making it weird. So of course I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out and they all agreed. Number two, this was at the end of class. This week we were doing STEM fair presentations. Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM fair projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and they can have fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes. I wrote all of them a pass at the beginning of the class period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People are saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics because caring for the whole child is what.
Okay. There's a couple things that I think are wrong with the video in itself, right? One is the fact that he started off by saying, let's ruffle some feathers. So that already tells me that you knew that this would be perceived a certain way in the court of public opinion, right? So apparently he went live, and as he was streaming live while this was happening, people had an issue with it. People made comments about it. So for whatever reason, he felt that it would be in his best interest to take the video, take the live, and to repost it with this voiceover. Where one, you're saying that you asked these students to do it naturally. You asked them to do it because you wouldn't have time to. I'm sorry, as a woman that has taken off work to get her hair done, that has left work to get her hair done, you have to make do with what you have to make do. You have to make sacrifices. So because you didn't think you would be done taking your hair down for your appointment, if you knew the day before that you wouldn't be able to, why didn't you move your hair appointment? Why didn't you change your hair appointment? I think for me, it's wild to say, so naturally I ask my students. No. And I'm not a teacher. I'm not an educator. I don't work with children in any capacity at work. So I'm not going to speak to that, to like, it doesn't make sense to me. I think it's inappropriate. I think it's inappropriate to say, well, I know I couldn't get it done, so naturally I'm going to have my students do it. This isn't you saying I didn't have time to staple all the pamphlets. I didn't have time to label all the folders. I didn't have time to clean the chalkboards or to clean the dry erase boards, so naturally I had a student do it for some extra credit. This is you saying that you made a deal with your students that if we got one good presentation done, y'all can help me take my hair down. 2, I don't care if it's a male teacher or a woman teacher. That is inappropriate. A lot of people are saying, oh, but the girls wanted to do it. So what? That's beside the point. He then cites that he builds great relationships with his students. I had great relationships with my teachers in high school. I can think back to middle school, and Mr. Sylvester made a huge impact on my life as my 8th grade teacher. When I got to high school, teachers like Mr. Weber and Mr. Durgy and Mr. Speaker and Miss Meyer all made an impact on my life as well without me ever playing in their hair. My college advisor, Miss Fields, made a huge impact in my life. Still talk to her ass. And I was able to build a bond with her and build a relationship with her as an adult, mind you, and a student without ever sitting and flexi rodding her hair. To me, this was inappropriate. I also feel like, why did you go live to do it? That's the thing. We live in an era now where we live and die by our damn phones. And I'm guilty of it too. Right? I'm a person that if I'm out to eat, the phone eats first. Okay? If I'm out getting a drink, the phone drinks first. I'm guilty of it as well. Hell, I'm a millennial. Right? But a part of me being a millennial is also knowing that even though I'm good with technology and I'm tech savvy, hell, I have a YouTube. Right? I get on here and talk about my thoughts all the time, and I don't have to. But a part of that is also realizing everything ain't for everybody. And I think that's what this young man failed to realize. 1, there was no reason for you to go live. 2, when people were in your comments telling you, oh, this is wild, this looks away, this is crazy, you then had the audacity, the temerity, the gall to save the live and then repost it with this weird ass story attached to it. Nothing that he said in that story made me think that it was okay for you to ask these students to do this. The second part of this is people are like, well, the parents gave consent. Yeah, the parents gave consent for their daughters to be on camera, for their daughters to be on social media. When the consent went out at the beginning of the school year, I'm sure it was not an asterisk, it was not in bold print, it was not a footnote that your child might be taking down a teacher's hair for extra credit. So for the people that are like, oh, well, they signed a waiver, they didn't sign a waiver. They didn't give consent for their child to take down another person's hair. That's the thing. Whether you are a male teacher or a female teacher, it is still inappropriate. It's inappropriate because I send my kids to school to learn, not to take down your hair for extra credit. You know what I mean? It's weird to me. So then we have that. Just the notion of this is inappropriate. Now, I'm not saying that I think that this young man is doing anything inappropriate with these girls by any means. That's not what I'm saying. But I think you have to be careful when students become a certain age, or just in general. This would be different if these were kindergartners that you have playing in your hair and you're sitting on the floor and they're putting barrettes and shit in your hair. I think that's a little different than, which is still inappropriate at school, but I think it's a lot different than you having these middle school, or I think were they high school, these middle school kids, these girls that could have a crush on you. You just don't know. You got to create healthy boundaries. You have to create healthy boundaries when you are a teacher. So the fact that he doesn't see anything wrong with that is wild to me. The fact that so many people don't see anything wrong with that is wild to me. You have a middle schooler. These are, let's say, 13, 14, 15-year-old girls. How do you know they don't have a crush on you? We talked about this in my my little YouTube group chat. You know, shout out to my girls. But if he looked differently, right? I think that he's getting a pass because he's a handsome man. He's not bad on the eyes. He's getting a pass for that. I think if he were a 60-year-old man that had gray hair and that kind of looked old, looking a little, looked a little weathered, age, life is lifing for him, and he still had this relationship with his students, this would not be taken the same way. The fact that he is so close in age to these girls, it makes it cringy. It just does. It makes it cringy. That man doesn't look a day over 26, 27. Maybe he is, but I'm thinking, okay, if he's 27 years old, he's about maybe 10, 12 years older than these girls. It's inappropriate, y'all. It's inappropriate. So, of course, the court of public opinion has been having a field day. People have been going back and forth with this for a couple of days. A lot of people were saying, nigga, you gonna get fired. You're gonna get fired. So, word came out today that he was let go. He has gone to his TikTok account and he is reading some of the letters that he has gotten from his students in support of him. I'm going to play a little snippet of this too, because this video was like 5 minutes.
Amidst all the controversy that has come from this video that I posted, I wanted to come on here and read some of the messages that my students are sending me during. Some of the messages that they've been sending me. During this time. Hey, bestie. I really hope that you see this message. How are you? I hope that you're okay. Our class misses you so much, and we really want you to know that we love you and we miss you so much and can't wait for you to come back. I can't believe that taking somebody's hair out is such a big deal, and it makes me so mad that people make little things big things. I want you to know that the class and others got your back, and we will always stand behind you and up for you no matter what happens. We got you. Again, we miss you and we love you so much, and can't wait for you to come back. I wish that this never happened because it feels like we're losing you. Come back soon. Don't be gone too long, because if you're not back by Monday, I know something's up. But anyways, I also made sure that the classroom was clean before we left. Love you, missed you. Love you, miss you, see you later. Hi, Mr. White. We've been seeing all this stuff going on, and so has your other former students, and I just want you to know that we're standing with you. I'm literally in my junior year of high school right now, and seeing all this, you were my and many others' favorite teacher.
Again, it's unfortunate that he had to lose his job, but I think this is just a great lesson that everything doesn't need to be filmed. You doubled down. And like, it was one thing for you to go live with it. That's one thing. It's another for you to save the live and then post it and start it off with, let's ruffle some feathers. Because you could have went live and the school may have never noticed it. But we live in an era today where people will at your job. We see it all the time on Twitter. People will at your job. People will at your boss if they know who your boss is. People do stuff like that all the time. I hate that this happened the way that it happened, because it did not need to happen. It didn't need to happen. You didn't need to post it. But I do hope that what he takes from this is you have to learn to set clear boundaries. Just because you think that something is innocent enough, you have to step back and look as the adult, right? You have to step back and look as an adult, because there are a lot of people that said, I definitely did that for my favorite teacher, thinking as a child. Look at this as an adult. At 39 years old, I can say, this is not okay. This was inappropriate. Whether the parents are okay with it or not. Optic-wise, the school clearly had an issue with it. Let me know what you guys think about this. What did you guys think about this? I'm not saying he deserved to be fired, but I think that this is definitely a lesson. So do you guys think that this was innocent? Do you think that it was inappropriate? Let me know down below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I'll catch you guys in the comment section. Peace.